Somebody asked me how to tell the difference between an egoic desire and manifestation and a soul-aligned desire and manifestation. So my ego is super tripped up about to say this right now, but I wrote an article once called Magic is for Pussies. And what I mean by that is that when we engage in magic, in magical thinking and imagination is one thing because we can utilize that to anchor in our dream reality. We can use that energy to anchor in something. But when it comes to magic, where the ego is projecting and going, I want this to happen, I want that to happen, everybody is capable of that, okay? I've delved into my share of magic. I'm a very magical person, and so are you. We're all capable of that kind of manifesting in the matrix, but it's a dense manifestation, and it is a manifestation that is interventionist and out of trust. So there's not going to be nearly as much authentic and expansive power to those manifestations as there is to manifestations made from a soul-aligned place. So manifesting from a soul-aligned place is never, I want to say this, and this is definitely a video that I got on going, I have no idea what the hell I'm going to say. I just know I have to say something about this. When we are desiring something, we have to understand a couple things about desire. One is that sometimes we don't desire the object of our desires nearly as much as we desire the sensation of desire. So if you are somebody who's like in a relationship that feels very stale and you're wanting desire, you might be thinking about an ex-boyfriend and feeling desire, but it's not the ex-boyfriend that you're looking for. It's the tension being held by the frequency of desire that you're really looking for. And you could literally anchor that in and bring it into your current relationship if that's something that you want, but you have to be aware that the soul desires the vibration, right? And the ego desires the object that we use to symbolize the vibration. So if we're wanting something from somebody else, from, manifesting, we are being interventionists, and we are doing it from our ego because we're using those symbols as part of our identity and going, my ego wants this because this is part of my identity, and my ego wants this, this person to be happy in this way because I know that's what's best for them because that suits your identity really well. And that's all the ego is. It's just the patterns in which you operate that formulate your identity on a daily basis. So people often say that I have been an immaculate manifester. Other people might say I've been lazy. Well, my mother would say I've been lazy. So manifestation in truly aligned will, there's so much power behind it because you're a part of the Trinity. And the way that I understand this Trinity is that, one line is Father to Holy Spirit, one line is Son to Holy Spirit, and the way in which they intersect right there, the only way that God and man can communicate is through the Holy Spirit. There's so much backed power when we are operating through the consciousness of the Holy Spirit in ourselves. It's our communication with God. When we are in that space, we're not going to want to be interventionists. We're going to almost what I would call manifest. We are going to sit still, and we are fasting from our own temptations to control the outcome. We are engaging in the principle of, it is not true that, my father would always be like, when I have the money, then I'll do this. When I can, then I will. We have to invert that thinking. It's when I will, then I can, right? So I'm somebody who is, I'm starting to need a bigger space. I'm starting to outgrow this space in every way. I want a pool, okay? I want to live next to the river. I want to be in a situation in which I can engage in nature every single day. Okay, I don't have those things right now, but I engage in the principle by taking my kids to the community pool, going out to the river, even if it takes me 20 minutes to drive there, going out into the woods, even though I have to pack up a whole bunch of people and make them come along with me. I am engaging in the will of what I want to be able to do, okay? And with the power of aligned will, which is like my soul knows that's actually what's good for me right now. It's not a need based on my ego going, I want this status. My soul is going, oh, it's time. Like this space is a little too small for you. And that's okay. It doesn't make you materialistic. It doesn't make you status driven. It makes you aware that you're listening to yourself, okay? So when a manifestation, when we are engaging in the will, it's always going to be for ourselves, and it's going to be backed, funded, totally supported by the Holy Spirit, and we're going to know based on almost like, I think that when the ego projects, it feels pushy, okay? But when we're backed by the Holy Spirit, we feel pushed. And I don't want to be on camera right now. I wouldn't have 5 years ago been like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this YouTube channel and like let people see me. I did this because I had to do it. I did it because I was guided and resisted and was guided again and then fought and then was guided again, and then I show up and then I have a shame, fest, and then I show up again. And I know that the way I will receive my manifestations is not in an object of them. It is in the anchoring of what I believe they're going to make me feel like when I receive them in the first place. So if I'm somebody who doesn't engage in what I want, if I go, I have to have this house inside of the woods in order to go, in order to then do my nature thing every day, and I'm not engaging in the will. Or I go, I want to live and see beautiful mountains, but I'm not actually taking the time to come outside and see the mountains around me because I don't think they're big enough. If I don't appreciate what I have now, I'm going to be the person in the exact same situation that I'm currently desiring and still not appreciate it. It's still never going to be enough. So I think manifestation requires this sense of I have to anchor in that which I believe is going to make me feel anchored. And that comes with a ManiFASting of going, I know that I'm backed. I know that the water that I'm flowing in right now has got me, and that I anchored here for a reason. So then it doesn't matter what it looks like in the mirror. I'll know it when I see it, but I'll know it more so when I feel it. And I have to engage in the feeling before the receiving in the manifest, because the feeling is the awareness to the universe that you are open to receiving that which you desire. So it's always going to be about yourself. And it might be, I want to have so much money so I can go give it to other people. I want to be in a situation where I can receive in order to give. That's still being about yourself. It's not going to be, this is what I manifest for somebody else. This is what I want this relationship to look like. That is the reason relationships fail. It's like primarily the only reason relationships fail is because we go, I know what this is supposed to look like, instead of letting it be what it actually is. So I believe that manifesting requires restraint, and it's not laziness, it's trust. And it's the restraint from believing we know anything at all, let alone what's best for this person, that person, or ourselves in relation to this person or that person. We have to trust the thing holding us more than we are trusting the thing that we think is binding us, while we go, oh, if it was this way, then I would feel better. We have to trust in the thing holding us more than the thing that's binding us. So it's not that when we can, we will. It's that when we will, then we can. Then we're supported in the energy to get up and go outside in nature. Then we're supported in the energy to, When you will it, aligned with the will of the Holy Spirit, of the intersection of conception between man and God. When you will how you want the seed to feel in its expanse, and let the fertile void kind of show you the picture of what that's going to feel like, you can be sure that you're in soul aligned growth and expansion. When you can refrain and fast from even, you can know how it's going to look, but when you know how it's going to look, you know that you don't have to create how it's going to look, because you're already being guided to step out to that limb, and you know the result. So inevitably, that universe is inside of you. It's coming. And the more you try to make it come, the more you get in the way of its coming. So it's about ManiFASting, I think. Anyway, this is what I think. So I hope you guys are awesome, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.